Dave Cummins, and welcome to the Future of Sustainable Development, a podcast where we explore the ideas shaping tomorrow's built environment. Today, we're exploring the importance of smart building automation. What is it? Why is it important? And how to embrace it? Let's start with the big picture. Buildings account for nearly 40% of global carbon emissions when you combine construction and operations, according to the World Green Building Council. And within that, heating and cooling, lighting and equipment use makes up the lion's share of energy demand. The International Energy Agency reports that buildings consume more than 55% of global electricity. Now imagine if we could dramatically cut that consumption, not just by changing what powers our buildings, but by making the buildings themselves intelligent, aware of their environment, responsible for people's needs, and capable of optimizing themselves in real time. That is the promise of smart building automation. So what exactly is smart building automation? At its simplest, it is the integration of digital systems, sensors, and controls that allow a building to monitor, learn, and adapt. Think of it as a nervous system of a property. Sensors acting like nerves, controllers like the brain, and accentuators like muscles that adjust heating, cooling, and lighting, ventilation, and even security. The Journal of Building Performance Simulation describes smart building automation as a critical pathway to improve both energy efficiency and occupant health, reducing energy use by up to 30% when properly integrated. The idea isn't new. In the 1970s, we had basic building management systems, cooling, controlling HVAC and lighting. But those were rigid, rule-based systems. They couldn't learn, they couldn't adapt. Today, thanks to the Internet of Things, cloud and computer AI automation has become predictive and dynamic. The Energy and Building Journal found that smart automation can cut HVAC energy consumption by 20 to 40% and lighting energy by up to 60% through occupancy, sensoring, and daylight harvesting. And the benefits are far more than energy savings. A study in building environment found that optimized ventilation and air quality monitoring through smart automation improves employee cognition performance by 8 to 12%. Another study in the Journal of Environmental Psychology found that workplaces with dynamic lighting systems reported a 23% reduction in stress and fatigue. Automation doesn't just make buildings more efficient, it makes people healthier and more productive. There is also a financial benefit. The World Economic Forum highlights that energy-efficient smart buildings can reduce operational costs by 25%, increase asset value by 10%, and improve occupancy rates by 5% compared to conventional buildings. CBRE reported that tenants in Australia and Asia Pacific are increasingly prioritising smart-enabled buildings, with 75% they would pay a premium for automation that improves efficiency and comfort. The Journal of Sustainable Real Estate confirmed that smart efficient buildings consistently outperformed the market in both rental income and resale value. So if the benefits are so clear, then why don't we embrace smarter building automation more widely? The first barrier is cost, or at least the perception of cost. Installing advanced systems, AI sensors, and AI-driven systems and automation networks requires upfront investment, and developers often fixate on immediate budgets rather than lifecycle value. Yet research in energy policy demonstrates that automation systems typically pay back within 3 to 7 years through the energy savings alone. The second barrier is complexity. Automation involves interoperability between multiple systems: HVAC, lighting, security, access control, renewables, and storage. The lack of standardization and integration across platforms can be daunting. The Journal of Cleaner Production found that fragmentation of the smart building sector is one of the biggest obstacles to adopt, creating technical silos that slow down deployment. Third, there's inertia. The construction industry is conservative, often reluctant to adopt innovations that aren't yet seen mainstream. A survey published in Automation and Construction revealed that more than 60% of construction executives recognize the value of smart building technology, but fewer than 20% have adopted them at scale. It's not just the industry doesn't believe in its potential, it's that old habits die hard and short-term thinking dominates. And finally, there's a skill gap. Smart automation requires expertise, not only in design and construction, but in data science, systems integration, and AI. Research in the Journal of Construction Engineering and Management points out that workforce training and education have not kept up with the rapid pace of smart technology, leaving a gap between ambition and execution. But let's not focus on the barriers, because the inspiring part is that around the world, we already have remarkable examples showcasing what is possible. In Australia, the International Towers in Sydney's Barangaroo precinct use advanced automation to integrate lighting, ventilation, and power systems with real-time occupancy and weather data, achieving 50% lower energy use than comparable towers. In Melbourne, Pixel Building remains a pioneer with automation systems tied to solar, wind, and water recycling, achieving carbon neutrality and showcasing how early adopters can set the benchmark. Globally, the Edge building in Amsterdam is often called the smartest building in the world. Using 28,000 sensors, it continuously learns from its occupants, adjusting heating, lighting, and cooling for every desk based on personal preference while minimizing energy waste. Deloitte reported that the Edge consumes 70% less energy than comparable offices and have become a magnet for talent, with employee satisfaction rising significantly thanks to the human-centered automation. Singapore is another example, embedded smart automation to its Smart Nation strategy. In buildings across the city, integrated systems can manage energy, water, and security, cutting consumption and emissions while improving resilience. The Urban Sustainable Journals highlighted that Singapore's smart automation framework is projected to reduce the city's building-related emissions by 25% by 2030. So how do we embrace smarter automation more widely? First, we must change the narrative. Instead of framing automation as a cost, we need to frame it as an investment in performance, health, and resilience. The evidence is overwhelming. Energy in building showed payback in less than a decade, and the Journal of Environmental Psychology linked automation to reduce stress. The World Economic Forum tied it to stronger financial returns. Second, we must build standards and integration. Governments, developers, and technology providers need to collaborate on open systems that talk to each other without interoperability. We get fragmented systems that underperform. Third, we need to train and empower the workforce. The Journal of Construction Engineering and Management reminds us that without investing in skills, the promise of smart automation won't scale. Training architects, engineers, and contractors to understand data-driven design is essential. Fourth, we need policy that rewards outcomes, incentives for buildings that achieve measurable energy and carbon reductions through automation, faster approvals for projects embedding smart systems, and green loans tied to verified performance. So what would happen if we built more smart automated buildings? We'd see cities with lower emissions, offices with healthier, more productive workers, and property portfolios that are more resilient to climate risk. We'd see homes that adapt to families' needs, keeping them comfortable while cutting bills and carbon footprints. And we'd see an industry that moves from reactive problem solving to a proactive optimization. The take-home message is simple. Smart building automation isn't about gadgets or gimmicks. It's about creating environments that think with us, learn with us, and adapt with us. It's about aligning human well-being, economic performance, and environmental responsibility in a single intellectual system. When we make our buildings smarter, we make our future brighter. Thank you for tuning in to the future of sustainable development. Join us next time as we uncover fresh research, new innovations, and best practices for building smarter, greener, and more resilient buildings. Until then, let's continue to build places that help heal the land and empower communities for tomorrow.